From TRICHOMES.com, I'm Jarod Duggins, and this is the Careers in Cannabis Podcast. On this show, we sit down with staffing agencies, cannabis companies, and other industry professionals to discuss employment opportunities in the burgeoning cannabis industry. During today's podcast, we visit with a recently retired NFL player who turned his attention to the cannabis industry, becoming an entrepreneurial investor shortly after hanging up his jersey. Venture capital and entrepreneurial spirit is what has brought the cannabis opportunity to what it has become today, and is still, in my opinion, one of the best ways to pave your own road and create your own self-sustaining careers in cannabis. We are joined today by Lamarr Houston, co-founder and investor in EasyWeed, a newly redesigned cannabis vending machine aiming to increase revenue and cut down on contact while visiting the dispensary to grab your favorite brands. And Lamarr, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And, really, as with all of our guests, we'd like to check in. We're still here amidst a global pandemic, amidst, a whole bunch of new landscapes when it comes down to business, personal development, and really the cannabis space in whole. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm currently in California. Just relaxing and trying to get things organized and ready to roll for the fall.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we're having you today on Careers in Cannabis as the co-founder and a key investor at EasyWeed. Before we get to that story, would you tell us a little bit about your backstory as a retired NFL player, currently retired, but recently retired, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, I retired in February as a Raider, which I'm very proud of. I played in the NFL for 8 years. I was blessed to see more than the average in the NFL and fulfill my dream and live it out amongst my peers and my family, and I was very proud and grateful.
As with a lot of NFL players, I know that previous to this conversation, I learned a little bit about you having some injuries in your career. Cannabis is a hot topic right now. What led you to cannabis from the NFL, and how did you first get involved on this level?
Well, I've been a user of cannabis while I was in the NFL to help, tolerate some of the bumps and bruises and just keep going through those rigorous weeks of training and playing every Sunday. But after I retired, I wanted to get involved in cannabis, and I was doing some research and saw that, farms were very expensive. Dispensaries now are very expensive. Even to get a license now is tremendous weight and a high expense. So, I brainstormed with my partner, Lauren Snee, who's very business savvy, very smart young lady who brought attention to the use of vending machines as like extra revenue. And we both have a love for cannabis and wanted to figure out how to get in the industry. And we figured, why not have vending machines in cannabis?
It is something, as we discussed before as well, it's something of a hot topic right now, especially we'll call it, post-COVID type environment where contactless purchases and contactless sales are something of a point of interest right now. EasyWeed does answer that. And within the entrepreneurial spirit, it's thanks for rising to the occasion.
Yeah, so EasyWeed was not only our solution for wait times in dispensaries, because now obviously post-COVID and during COVID, cannabis has been doing very well. And people have been clamoring up the dispensaries, and it's been taking, 45 minutes to an hour or an hour and a half for a patient to be seen by a bud tender. So we've seen the opportunity to shorten that time and have people served in 3 minutes at our machine, which is a frictionless transaction. And making sure that they're still having their needs met with descriptions and of the products they buy and everything like that on our machine. The machine itself is an experience for the customer. It has a very intricate interface on it that's very interactive for the client. There's also video and media that can be played at the discretion of the dispensary, so they can also have a little marketing space for themselves, for their specials, for their clients. So the machine itself gives an enhanced experience for your client as well as it's fun to interact with.
Well, that's definitely a convenience factor, and people that are familiar with the process and the products definitely will like the option of skipping those types of lines and waiting in a 6 foot spread out line that goes around the corner in some cases, and waiting for a bud tender to hand over cash, of which, again, as far as that goes, solution wise, are you guys, is it a cash only vending machine, or do you have ATMs planned to go next to it? How do you plan on accepting cash or accepting payment in the machines?
Well, our machines do accept cash, but once you sign up with a profile, you'll be able to attach your debit card or to your membership. And when you come back to the machine, you'll be able to purchase and pick up your product all at once. And we're also pre-rolling out a QR code where you can pre-order your orders and just they'll drop at the machine when you get to the dispensary.
That sounds like a great option. As someone who doesn't like to wait in lines nor handle a lot of cash after it's been handed to me by someone who's been wearing the same gloves for a number of patients in a row, I definitely value the ability to interact with a machine and and put in the correct amount of change. So it's a great option. And it's some people think, hey, this is going to automate. And you lose the bud tender experience. The bud tender experience is still there, in my opinion. Really, as we discuss here on Careers in Cannabis, we're talking about creating jobs, not displacing jobs. I see it as an additional way to service the customer, but really, when it comes down to it, I know that you guys are actually expanding and looking to create some jobs of your own. You want to talk about those and where people might be able to find out about some expanding roles within EasyWeed?
Yeah. So we are, currently looking for Salesforce as well as media roles inside of EasyWeed. So if anybody wants to join us in our mission to cover the country and the world with these awesome machines, they can reach out to us on easyweed.com and just click contact us and leave us a note in the email.
Oh, fantastic. And we'll definitely have a link to that in the bio here on whatever platform you're listening to us on. But again, easyweed.com. Lamarr, thank you very much for bringing the entrepreneurial spirit to the cannabis industry from the NFL. And thank you for bringing a solution to our current global crisis that we're going to and a touchless system that basically is the way of the future. Lamarr Houston, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. We're here to enhance everybody's experience and increase the business of dispensaries, and we are well away on to our goal, and we thank everybody joining us and supporting us on our mission at EasyWeed.
Well, we look forward to staying up with the story and how EasyWeed progresses into the industry. Thank you again. You can follow our series, Careers in Cannabis, as well as more great shows like this one at TRICHOMES.com. If you're a member of the cannabis community and you have a story you want to share with us, please reach out. You can reach the show via emailing careersincannabis@trichomes.com. Please take a second to subscribe to the podcast and write a review. It really helps others find the show. You can also join in the discussion with industry insiders by visiting trichomes.com and following us on all social media. For trichomes.com, I'm Jarod Duggins. Be well, and thank you for listening.